So, for this particular video, we're going to be looking at work ethics. We're going to look at ethics around the employer ethics and the employee ethics. So, when you think about ethics, you really want to think about good and positive characteristics for someone to exhibit in the workplace. From the employer has an ethical obligation to provide a work environment that is safe for all of its employees. They also have the responsibility of treating everyone with dignity and respect, providing a fair wage, and to handle the business transactions with integrity and honesty. For the employee, the ethics or code of ethics would look similar to showing up on time, tending to company business while at work, to treat the company's resources with care, and to give respect to the company by working with honesty and integrity. When we look at professional ethics and we look at things that people should be doing on the job, I'm going to focus this on the culinary or restaurant industry. So, a good work ethic is an attitude, and this is hard work, good performance, and dependable results. A big part of that for front and back of the house is keeping your personal life from impacting or interfering with your professional life. This includes not being on your phone while you're at work, not touching your phone and sending messages unless you need to. We all have business that we need to conduct. If you have children, you need to communicate certain things back and forth, but a conversation that is a casual conversation, the question to ask yourself, is this important and is this relevant? Do I need to take care of this now? Viewing social media while you're at work is not ethically professional. Also, this includes dating people on the job. So if you are going to be friends with or hang out with or date people that you work with, then you need to keep that respectful and you should keep that professional while you are there at the job. So essentially, you have a list of things that you need to do and accomplish, and the goal for everyone should be serving your guests. So if you have a negative attitude, that's going to show on your face, it's going to show in your communication, who you're around, that's going to impact other people around you. Hardworking, finding this term that's called initiative, finding the things that need to be done. So take care of your business, handle your business. You can have fun and you can have friends, but you need to make sure that serving your guests and the quality of your work is going to make a difference. And that's going to make a big difference on whether or not you are or are not successful in that industry and in that kitchen. Also, the place you work for should be cared for and respected. This includes keeping things clean. Cleaning as you go continuously and all of the time. A dirty kitchen nobody wants to eat out of or to serve out of. Being on time is really important. When you think about yourself as part of a team and not just an individual, you'll realize that being there and being there for your shift and what you're actually doing is going to be very important. If you are calling in, if you are late, that impacts other people. It can happen, but if it happens all the time and you are not dependable, then that is a problem. And those are not the sort of people that usually move forward. So be on time, stay till you need to, finish your tasks, and don't call in unless you absolutely have to. I already talked about the separation of work life from private life. Um, you know, avoid discussing personal problems, telephone calls, things like that. Be positive. Your energy is going to feed into the people around you. If you have something that's happening in your world, sometimes you need to talk about it, but ultimately, nobody cares. Work harder. This is important in the restaurant industry as well. So, generally speaking, there is food, dead food, things get ordered wrong. But if you are snacking off people's plates, that is extremely unprofessional. If you are stealing food or eating food that is not set aside for staff meals, then that is stealing. That could include paper products or tools or cash or whatever it is. Wasting the resources cost that restaurant money, and that makes a big difference. So when we look at these soft skills, so soft skills are things that transfer to all jobs. A soft skill is something that it doesn't matter what career you're going into, these are going to transfer. So, treating people fairly, being a cooperative team member, dealing with conflict and handling misunderstandings, creating an environment of social interaction and respect. Regardless of what career field you ever go into, these are going to be critical to your success. And ultimately, people that move up and move forward are people that exhibit these soft skills. Can you talk to people? Do you understand diversity in the workplace? Can you work together? Sometimes that is including people that you may not like. Can you communicate effectively? Can you write a professional email? Can you speak with a good tone and proper grammar? Can you be a professional? I understand that sometimes you're in social situations in which you may speak or talk a certain way or use a certain language. That term is referred to as code switching. We all do some code switching. In my day to day life, or when I worked in the back of the kitchen, think about it, back of the house, in front of the house, I cuss. It's just part of who I am, particularly in the kitchen area. When you are in front of the house and you are greeting a guest, you have a different tone of voice, and you generally try not to drop the f bomb when you're talking to guests. It's a little different, front of the house and back of the house. It's code switching. It's a reality when I'm hanging out with my friends versus when I'm in a work meeting. As I often tell my students, time and place. Time and place are going to be really important. And this is a soft skill that you need to learn and understand. When is the appropriate time for certain language or for certain writing? When I have a student that sends me an email and they use text language or shortening, that's not professional. You need to learn the difference between professional and not. And that's a really important, relevant soft skill. So you want to have responsibility, flexibility, honesty, reliability, teamwork, and ultimately just be committed to excellence. That's what's going to move forward. Big companies or successful companies, successful businesses, particularly if you want to open your own business, if you don't have these items, then it's not going to work. You have to be committed to serving and having a good product. And in the hospitality industry, serving guests has to be everyone's first priority. So that code of ethics from the employer is also really important. I'm not going to have a positive code of ethics if my employer is not going to show me the same. It's a two-way street. So some questions to keep in mind. Finally, to sum it up, when you're thinking about ethics, is this right or is it wrong? Is it fair? Does this uphold the value of the organization? Can I tell my decisions to my employer, family, and others? Am I proud of the decisions that I make? How would others regard if the details of this interaction become public? Am I confident in the decision that I made? Would this be valid? Is it legal? Does it hurt anyone? Does it positively represent the business that I am working for? Does it make someone else uncomfortable? And this is true for jokes. You always have to think about that. If everybody doesn't find it funny or wouldn't find it funny, then it's probably not very funny. Does it convey respect for others? Have I involved others by asking their viewpoint? So if you are ever unsure about a decision, that's what's important. So if you were called to a different group of people and what you said or what you did was called into play, would you be proud of it? And would it show and represent you to your personal best?